Welcome back. It's about 3:15, 3:30 Central Time, US. And I was telling you earlier, I was going to try giving myself a reward, and that reward ended up paying off. So let's go into this for you. We left off with saying, we will address the problem and you will need to look at ways to solve this hurdle. For example, I realized 2 a.m. last night, I lost the phone number to one of my contractors, and how if I could email her to get her phone number, I could delegate to her to do the copying and pasting of my paper manuscripts and no longer have to worry about getting in my own way. This is self-sabotaging, where we get in our own way of success. Basically, I was looking at focusing on my strengths, which is the writing of books and problem solving, with the plan that I will write on my iPad, so after Terry gets all my originals ready to publish, I can eliminate the costs. So yes, it's going to cost extra money. What we were talking about was getting in our own ways, where we get in our own ways, and that's what self-sabotaging really is. So I had left you with this prompt. Take time to journal for 45 minutes. What or how are you getting in your own way of success? What is your dream or goal? How are you jeopardizing it? And that's where we're going to pick up on. If you've already answered this question, then you're ready for this section. If you have not answered that question and journaled, then go ahead and journal before and pause this video before continuing with us, because we are on the next step. Hello, Camel. Thank you for joining us. So, anybody else who is there, thank you for joining us. Basically, we're talking about self-sabotaging. And I'm sure you know some of all the ways I wrote it. And today's hits, if I'm going to read over what I wrote. So I left off with how I disclosed how I found out, an example where I found out how I was sabotaging myself for many years. And then I started with, once you realize how you are jeopardizing yourself, try problem solving now to get past, to get past that hurdle, because if you already have your dream job, then your progress or performance will not be at the level you personally are capable of. Sometimes it means we need to find new ways around the point where we get stuck. And other times it can mean we need to learn to say no. This has to do with saying no when your boss asks things that aren't necessarily what you enjoy or is not the fruit of what you enjoy doing. In many workplaces, you can say no to what you are not comfortable with doing, but people often feel they have to accept everything that their boss asks of them. However, this causes you to be hindered from doing the main tasks and agendas that are the fruit of why you wanted that job from the beginning. Remaining in a long-term job, even if you can't delegate, does not mean typically you have to do everything, but instead to say yes to it if it is what you enjoy or is the fruit of the job that got you there in the beginning. On the other hand, I stayed unproductive for the first 10 years as an author due to the environment in which I lived and could not escape for 39 years, where I was told all the time to not be so OCD about writing. Yes, I was meant to be an author, and I did write my first book at 16 years old, but many who have been following me in my writing career noticed I have not published books for years at a time gaps. What many do not know, besides my close friends, was that I was heavily writing on paper all those years in secret, and the traumatic environment caused me to sabotage myself from getting almost 20 manuscripts from paper to published books. However, that's where I got in my own way for 20 years. Because of this, I had been convinced that I had to continue tutoring and other types of work in order to make income to live off of. That too was a lie. I told myself and believed and lived by until this point that I'm writing about self-sabotaging. So ask yourself, what is a career or job you wish you had? Or what is a product or service that you wish people would pay you to do? Journal on this for 45 minutes. Think about your early days as a kid. What was activity you loved to do in elementary school or another time in younger years? That is usually when we can pretend to do or be as kids, is whatever we were really meant to do. Discover what that was for you. Get creative and find what you truly wanted to be or do. It doesn't always have to be a job related. Do you wish to work out or be in better health? If so, consider joining a gym or first starting more basic with physical therapy by seeing your primary care doctor about areas where you have pain. That was how I took 2-3 years to go from couch potato to active lifestyle. This is time for you to reflect on how you want to spend the remaining time in your life to achieve and do what you always wish you did or had or could do. And that's where I'm leaving you with reflecting on this, journaling, and we'll come back tomorrow. Anybody, any comments? Any questions? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. Part of my self-sabotaging has been trying to get in my own way of the YouTubing. And that's another area where I have self-sabotaged myself many times and for a long period of time. So I decided I have a reward for if I stream at the time of schedule on my ideal planner, that I'll do a dancing video. So give me a few minutes, I'll end this, and I'll get some party music going, and we'll start dancing soon to celebrate this win. And whatever is a win for you that you get in your own way, if you've done it, join us for the win. It's a party to celebrate.